Well, thank you so much. Can we get one round of applause for that amazing web series we just watched? All right, so I'm going to throw it out to you guys for questions, but first I want everybody up here to introduce themselves. So who are you? What is your relation to the show? And are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Hi, I'm Cheryl Holdaway. I played Suzanne, and every BuzzFeed quiz I have taken says I'm an ambivert, which is a little combination.
I'm Tayler Swensen. I played Elodie, and I am an introvert extrovert. I can go there.
I'm Amanda. I played Iris, and I wrote the series, and I'm an extrovert.
I'm Kailee, and I was the DP and also an executive producer, and I'm an introvert.
You already remember me. I'm Bri Castellini. I'm the director, and I'm a very loud introvert. So, who has questions? Raise your hands, and I'll call on you. All right, back there.
What's your favorite part about filming this?
Favorite part about filming this?
The costumes and the people.
Well, I feel like also the people, I think we all had a really good time and we all met people that we normally wouldn't have gotten to meet and we all got along really well, so that was fun. It was fun having a twin.
Yeah, I think just the chemistry of every single person in the cast and crew, it was smooth, it was really fun, which is not always the case, and even though we were doing something that was high stress, it was still really, really enjoyable.
Yeah, I think I would also say the people. I loved everyone I got to work with, especially the crew. I loved working with Bri as the director. I always love working with Amanda, which is why we have done many projects together. And I think just the whole crew in general, and the cast as well, like, it was such a fun set. And I think I also really liked that we got to be very creative with it and just have fun with it, and every day was kind of a new adventure and a fun one always. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously what everyone else said. I want to call out one moment in particular that I think was my favorite moment on set, and it was filming that really long take in the party, in the Halloween party, right when you go inside. How many of you out there were extras in that? Raise your hands. Yeah! Some of our crew members got to be extras, which was very fun. It was a very hectic shoot. Kailee, do you remember how many takes we did? Like 15 maybe? Maybe more than that? It was a lot of takes. Well, we're so professional. But yeah, no, it was just, I mean, there were so many people there. It took a really long time, but everyone was so excited to be there. All the extras were having a great time. I was just behind Kailee as she was filming, shouting at people to get in place. And it was a wonderful moment of teamwork that I've never experienced before on set. So that was my favorite absolute moment of being on set. Any other questions? Pat?
Any likelihood of like a season 2 or more of this?
I'll take that question.
She's so enthusiastic. Our goal is to get this into festivals and get it seen by industry people and kind of see where that takes us. Ultimately, I would like to make 6 seasons in a movie. So, yes, there's a very good chance for season 2. It just might take a little while.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about kind of like views and the reception. So if you love it, pass it on. That's it's sort of like a yes but maybe answer.
Okay, other questions?
How did you guys find this?
Finding locations. Kailee, you want to take that?
Yeah, so we kind of did a lot of everything. Our main thing when getting locations is always to just ask. So a lot of the house locations that you saw were friends of ours, and then the businesses are local businesses. So the video store is a video store in Bountiful. That's like one of the only ones left in Utah. So that's like a real running video store in Utah. And then the Crystal Shop was also, it's an American Fork. So we were really lucky to have some great local businesses that let us film in there. So yeah.
Any other ones? Oh, all the way in the back.
How long did it take you to write this series? To write the script?
I started writing it last summer in about July. So I sort of went through a few drafts on my own, and then I started passing it around to different writer people that I know, including Bri, so she got kind of an early draft. before it was perfected, which it is now. So it probably all told took us about 6 months to get it to where it was publication, like ready to happen. And a lot of that, the final edits were in casting. So I had some lines that had to do with like hair color or this person's relationship. So the very final line that I changed was when we cast Tayler. And it's the line about how they're twins, so anything that I, as Iris, say, she can just reprogram in her head as a compliment for herself.
Other questions? So I had a question for a couple of the actresses out here while you guys think of more questions. So Cheryl and Tayler, can you tell me something that you have in common with your character and what was the most fun part about playing her?
I was telling my husband that he has more in common with Suzanne than me a little bit. Because he was like, where are our seasonal pumpkin spice soaps? We need some of those. Because that's his thing. But I do relate to feeling like a newcomer in a group anytime that's the situation where you're like marrying into this close, tight-knit group. That's uncomfortable. And so yeah, that can kind of be a challenge, and so I related to Suzanne's need to overcompensate for that and to try and prove herself to these people.
I feel like I have a lot in common with Elodie. There's a lot of dynamic of her kind of being like, no, you go over here, now I'm gonna make this happen, now this has to happen here. And I'm very much like that. I like my ducks in a row. There's a line where they're talking about that these two don't have to end up together, and I say, but I want it this way. Like, I don't care what these two want, this is what benefits me the most, so I want it to be that way. So that was something that I feel like we have in common. And then something that I really enjoyed is that Elodie is very outgoing, and she is not afraid to be a full extrovert. I mentioned I'm more of like an introverted extrovert, so sometimes I kind of like to be by myself. But Elodie is very much like, she wants to be there, she wants to be in the middle of everything, but not really in this one.
What do I not like, Iris? Iris is just me, like, turned up to 11 with some really selfish qualities. So a lot of Iris is me. I love Halloween. Iris loves Halloween. Because I wrote it kind of for me, about me. So the things that were fun were being able to kind of lean into the side of her that's very different from me, where she doesn't really care what anyone else thinks. And so she kind of just does whatever she wants all the time, regardless of who that's going to hurt, which sounds like it's not nice, but it was sure fun.
Up front. Yes, music choices.
So the music was a long process, but I reached out to a few local bands. So first of all, the theme song was written by Amanda's good friends, Natalie and Spencer Cheney, Red Wing Bridge. And that was written specifically for the show, so we're obsessed with that song. We listen to it like every day. And yes, it is very catchy. And we reached out to a few different things. So the covers, one of the cover, Dead Man's Party one, was done by, I just like found them on YouTube and was like, can we use this? And like, yes, we'd love for you to use it. And the Monster MASH cover was actually done by my cousin, Shade Emanuel. Yeah, and then, And then the song at the end of episode 2 was done by a local all-female band. And then the rest of them I just kind of found licensed online, but when I was looking for music, I put any song I was considering in like a playlist on Spotify and just listened to it like every day until I kind of figured out what I wanted for it, so. Oh, and all the music is we have it all in a playlist on Spotify, so if you go to like the YouTube link that we have, it's linked in the description. You can go follow the playlist, listen to all the music in the series, and as well as the music that inspired Amanda while she wrote the series. So.
I have actually one for Amanda and then Kailee afterwards. So Amanda, you have told me many times that this story is actually the love story between you and Kailee. Can you talk about that?
It's true. So Kailee and I operate very much like Iris and Warner. I'm very extroverted. I like people. I like to gather people. I like to have people over, have events. do things that are social, and Kailee doesn't necessarily need that. So a lot of the conversations that Iris and Warner have, and like even the big fight when they're in the kitchen, is a big fight that I had with Kailee. I just sort of switched it around because we just need very different things from the world and from other people. So in writing that, I just sort of flipped it so it was like a romance and all these people who had all these opinions about it. I don't think most people know that Kailee and I operate like that, but now they will.
Yeah, I mean, I would just add that that is correct. That is how we work together. I think it's really fun to have the series and be able to see it, because I definitely, like that fight, and there's different conversations that I've seen, and I'm like, oh, yep, I remember saying that, and I like it. I'm not saying that like, oh, she put it in there. I think it's really fun, and Amanda and I have worked together so closely that I think it's really fun that it inspired this series, which we have absolutely loved making and putting out there. So.
Any other questions? Oh, yep. So Colin Hinckley is our wonderful Warner, our great Ginger, second only to Tayler, of course. Unfortunately, he and I are actually both from New York. I just happened to be in Colorado, so when they said, oh, we're doing an in real life premiere, I was like, I'll drive 5 hours. That's not a problem. So that's what I did all day. But yeah, unfortunately, Colin could not make it. Does everyone want to say one nice thing about him?
He was so funny and good in that, right? So good. And as a person, he's good too.
He looks a lot like me. No, but Colin he's hilarious. He kept us laughing all the time, and I feel like he, unlike Warner, is very introverted in life, but he always makes everybody feel welcome, and he will talk to you like instantly. You have an instant connection.
I'm gonna dodge this question slightly, but he was one of the only men that we had on set almost the whole time, and he just took that in stride and like made it like it wasn't a big deal. He just, supports the mission of Applebee's Productions, and was really good to work with.
I think Colin has the best reactions. I had so much fun filming and editing him. There's like a part in episode 2 where he just like does the funniest nod that I've watched like 10 times. Like, he's so funny. So, good job, Colin.
Yeah, every project I've ever directed, Colin has been in, and that is not an accident. I cast him in everything. I think he's one of the most talented people I've ever met. So we're sorry to miss him today, but we're glad everyone got to see his face very big on screen for a while. So shooting, it took us about, 8-9 days. They helped me come in from New York, so I was here for 2 weeks in Utah, and we filmed over the course of 8 days with a day or 2 for rehearsal, and then editing. I'll throw it over to Kailee, but we wrapped shooting at the end of May, so that should give you kind of a...
Yeah, so editing pretty much happened from the end of May. I gave myself a week or 2 to just take a break from it, and then mid-June, I started editing again, and have been until a few days ago. So it's, but yeah, it was really fun. There was a lot of love and work went into it, and much time and effort. So.
All right. So to close us out, I want everyone up here to tell me their favorite Halloween costume that they've ever had, childhood through adulthood. Mine is I once went as a giant sandwich, where it was 2 big pieces of board and we had sandwich cuttings out it. It lasted about 10 minutes and then it fell apart, and so I dressed in all black and I was a spy.
I'm a little lame when it comes to Halloween. I would really let Suzanne down. I wore ripped jeans and a plaid shirt and a white t-shirt, and I wrote thanks, and then I did zombie makeup, so I was the Grateful Dead. And I thought that was really funny, and no one else did.
My favorite Halloween costume, a couple of years ago, me and my husband, we were Wayne and Guard from Wayne's World. It was wonderful, it was great. Good job, Zach.
I'm having a really hard time choosing. I do a lot of costumes. I do something called Costtober every year, where I dress up in as many costumes as I can come up with in the month of October. So like last year on like Halloween day at about 10 o'clock, I was like, I have to dress up as Nell from The Haunting of Hill House, I guess. So I spent the whole day trying to find the costume, and then the actress who plays Nell on The Haunting of Hill House commented on my picture. So I was like, yeah, if you want to see more of Cogstober, follow us at Apple Juice Pro. We also get some there. My favorite costume that I've done, I dressed up as Rey from Star Wars a few years ago, and I like put so much work into that costume, and I love it. I'm gonna say thank you guys so much for coming. We want to get some pictures of people, so if you're cast, crew, family, friends, strangers, stick around just for a minute. And seriously, thank you so much. This has been a great experience to make the show, but also to show it to all of you. So thank you.
Remember, you have review cards, so if you got here a little late, we have them for you, but if not and you already have your review cards, please give us a little blurb. We'd love to hear what you thought. Also, there are still stickers available if anyone hasn't grabbed one. They're very cute. They're cartoon versions of Amanda's face in a couple of them, so of course, you gotta go grab those before they go fast. But can I get one more round of applause for our incredible women up here? Can we specifically get a round of applause for the Apple Juice Productions ladies, Amanda Tayler and Kailee Brown, for bringing us all here tonight. Make sure to get pictures of them. Thank you so much, everybody, and we will see you out in the hallway. Thanks so much for coming.